Christmas is a joyful time. There are a lot of wonderful things about Christmas, but one of the most exciting parts is when we get presents. The best gift of all was when Jesus was sent to us in a manger bed.
God knew we needed a Savior, and He sent one. There were a lot of other times when God provided for His people. After Moses led his people out of Egypt, they were wandering for a long time in the desert. All of this wandering made them grumpy and hungry, so God provided for His people. He gave them quail to eat in the evenings, and in the mornings after the dew dried up, the Israelites found flakes of bread on the ground called manna. Each person had more than enough food to eat. God provided.
God also provided for Elijah after he delivered a message to King Ahab. Elijah told King Ahab that God would send a drought, so the king threatened to kill Elijah. Elijah hid in a cave, and ravens brought bread and meat to him every morning and evening. Even when he had nothing else, God still provided.
At Christmas, we remember that God provided us with a Savior. Mary and Joseph trusted that God would provide for them when it was time for the baby to be born, and there was no room for them at the inn at Bethlehem. God provided a cattle stall with a manger for the baby's bed. A manger is a place that provides food for animals. This special manger didn't just provide food, but that night it gave a place for Mary to lay baby Jesus. Even if it's not in the way we planned, God always provides. When Jesus was teaching the people, He did many amazing things. One day, there was a huge crowd of people that had come to listen to Jesus and be healed by Him. At the end of the day, the disciples told everyone to go home, but Jesus had other plans. Matthew 14 verse 16-21 says, Jesus said, "They need not go away. You give them something to eat." They said to Him, "We have only 5 loaves here and 2 fish." And He said, "Bring them here to me." Then He ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass, and taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, He looked up to heaven and said a blessing. Then He broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds. And they all ate and were satisfied. And they took up 12 baskets full of the broken pieces left over. And those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. Years later, Jesus would grow up and provide salvation for us. On His last night on earth, He prepared a special supper for His disciples. At this meal, He told them that He would provide His body and blood for all people. This would take away all the sins of the world, and we would be made right with God again. God provides. Even now we know that He takes care of us and gives us everything that we need. Christmas is a wonderful time to give gifts to others and share time together. Let us remember all the times God has provided for His people.
but most of all, that he provided us with his precious Son.